at the at the Springfield Library. So I am happy to be here virtually to let you guys know what's going on in the scamming world in the holiday season. So with the holidays nearing, it's obviously a busy time full of shopping, gift giving, decorating, and travel. And a lot of us are very active online looking for the best gift to kind of spread that holiday cheer. But unfortunately, because of this activity, scammers are very aware of that and they use that to their advantage to take a hold of this increased activity that consumers are exhibiting. So they rely on these online shoppers that are acting quickly to make a purchase, making them more vulnerable to impulse buys and risky offers. And these scammers around the holidays are leaning into those holiday themes of gifts, promotions, generosity to kind of make their deals seem timely and legitimate. So the goal of this talk today is really to highlight the common holiday scams that we're seeing nowadays, show how to spot them, and gives you tips to just stay safer in the marketplace and avoid these scams altogether. So I do have a bunch of topics that I want to share with you all today, but like I said, I can see my presentation and I can see you guys. So if you have questions throughout this presentation, you can either comment them in the chat and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability, or you can just pop in and let me know your question over Zoom and speak into your mic. So without further ado, we'll get started. So I just want to cover who the Better Business Bureau is first and foremost, so you guys understand what we do at the BBB. We are a nonprofit public service organization, and our mission is to advance marketplace trust by educating consumers and strengthening the Vermont business community. So we are over 113 years old right now, and we were founded in 1912. We are built on truth in advertising, and our vision is essentially to create an ethical marketplace where both buyers and sellers can trust one another. So we do a couple of things nowadays. It's definitely evolved over the 100 years we've been around, just because there is so much more going on in the marketplace, especially virtually and online. So we are always trying to help people make smarter decisions, help people find trustworthy, reliable businesses. And on our website, we actually have 5.5 million business profiles listed for consumers to access to help them determine whether or not a business is a good fit for them. So those business profiles have a bunch of information on them. They have information about the business, its location, its contact information, as well as reviews and consumer tips. And then we also offer the opportunity for consumers to file a complaint, and that is meant to help the consumers resolve complaints with a business directly in an unbiased manner. And then we also have a lot of resources that are meant to help our local business owners grow and take their next steps in leveling up their business. So we do a lot of stuff nowadays. So we have a lot of resources available on our website. These are all scam related that are up here right now, and they're all free to use. So the first little bubble has the BBB Holiday HQ. So that is a great thing to utilize around the holiday season. We have a lot of HQs that are kind of tailored to different things like traveling. If you're getting married, we have a wedding HQ. So there's really a lot of different HQs you can explore. But this BBB Holiday HQ is going to have all your scam alerts and tips to keep you vigilant and safe during the holiday season. We also offer a general BBB scam tracker. This is a great resource to utilize, again, free. You can look up scams within your zip code, your state. You can look up businesses to see if they're fraudulent or legitimate. Same thing with phone numbers or emails. You can look them up in our scam tracker to see what other folks are experiencing. But this is a great way to report suspicious activity, to look up those scams you're curious about. And then we also offer a lot of educational resources to help keep you knowledgeable. So whether that's using our scam prevention guide, or if you have been scammed, using our scam survival toolkit, those are all great things to know about and check out on our website. We also have those business reviews and verification of businesses on bbb.org with our business profiles. So if there's a business you're curious about, whether it's a bakery, a contractor, any local business, you can find them on bbb.org and just check them out before you do business with them. And then the other resource we have is a website called give.org, which helps you verify charities or donation services before you use them to make sure they're legitimate and you're putting your money towards the right thing. So those are all those great resources. I'm going to dive a little bit more into BBB's Holiday Scam HQ because the holiday season is such a prime time for scammers that are looking to take advantage of these busy shoppers and businesses. There's a lot of fake delivery text and also gift exchange schemes that go on in the marketplace. So it's really important to just stay vigilant. And BBB has this entire section of our website dedicated to helping consumers protect their personal information, avoid those common holiday scams, and also just shop safely. So this is a BBB guide that is a great way to just make sure you're staying secure during the holiday season. So I'm going to talk about a lot of the different scams we're seeing, but if you are interested in learning about more of the scams or about these scams maybe more in depth, you can feel free to ask me any questions, but also feel free to use this HQ as a resource just to look back on later. So we have a fun little tag for our 12 scams of Christmas on our website. And these are the identified most common holiday scams that we're seeing from last year's holidays and also this year's holidays. So again, this is available on the HQ, but I'm just going to run through some of them just to give you a little bit more information. You may have heard of some of these or haven't. So I'm going to go through all of our 12 scams of Christmas. So the first one we have is misleading social media and online purchase scams. So these are typically ads for products, whether it be decor or gifts or maybe toys that you purchase but never seem to get delivered, or when they arrive, they're very different than they were advertised. So it's always important to be aware of these too good to be true deals and photos that may appear to be stolen from another website or company. So in order to be vigilant and protect yourself, you should always be researching any company you're going to be purchasing a product, a decor item, a gift from. Check their reviews, whether it's the company itself or the product reviews. And if you are purchasing from these online ads or social media ads, you should always be using a credit card as a form of payment instead of some strange, unusual payment method that they may be asking for. I'm going to make sure we have no questions in the chat. I don't think we do. Okay, we're good. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them. I just want to make sure I'm checking them. Next, we have our social media gift exchange. This is also sometimes mentioned as the Secret Santa or Secret Sister scams. So this is a type of scam that is a pyramid scheme. So you might be buying or sending a gift or some money to somebody and expecting a gift back. So this scam is typically very illegal and it leads to financial loss. And it's important to try to avoid any exchange requiring information or money up front. Next, we have fake holiday apps. They're something to keep your eye on for the Christmas scam radar. They usually seem harmless, but these festive themed apps typically are hiding malware or collecting excessive personal information while being used. So you may have heard of some of these apps. It includes like the Santa trackers, the holiday countdowns, the festive games. So these are typically available on the App Store, but sometimes people are downloading them from a faulty website or from somewhere else. And if you are going to be downloading these apps, you should always be reading the reviews before you hit download or open them. And you should always be downloading these apps from official app stores. Next, we have fake delivery notifications. Scammers are very good, unfortunately, at impersonating agencies or carriers. So they'll send you texts claiming that you owe money or you need to update your delivery. I'm sure a lot of us received, there was a UPS scam text that a lot of people were getting that it would say your package arrived at the warehouse or you need more information to complete this delivery. But these fraudulent texts always are coming from these known companies. So whether it is UPS or FedEx or USPS or maybe even Amazon saying that there's a delivery problem, you just should be vigilant about that. If they're coming unsolicited, that's an important thing as well. And And scammers are really good at mimicking online seals, official seals, fonts, and other details to make those emails or texts seem legitimate. And sometimes they'll even have phishing links for you to click on. But this is why you should always be wary of those unsolicited texts and only track your packages through the official website or app. Or if you get an email after you drop off a package at UPS or FedEx, you can use those as well. But try not to track it from any unsolicited text that you're getting. The next one that we have up here is our free gift card and prize scam. So these are often phishing attempts with emails, ad pop-ups, or social media postings that are promising free gift cards or prizes. Again, this is the type of thing where if it seems too good to be true, it probably isn't true. And if you're clicking on those links or pop-ups, it makes you very vulnerable to get malware onto your devices or just have a breach of security. So try to avoid clicking those when possible. The last one on this slide is our temporary holiday job scams. These offer fake seasonal jobs in retail, in warehouses, or also delivery work, and will ask you for upfront fees or sensitive information. And essentially, these job postings aren't real. They also sometimes request your banking info and even conduct interviews virtually via text. So you won't get like a face-to-face interview or a phone call. It'll just be a weird text chain of them asking personal information, potentially your bank information, social security number, date of birth, anything like that, so that they can kind of harvest that information and use it against you later. So when you are job searching, especially during the holiday season, make sure you're only applying to those jobs directly through the company website, the official company website, or a direct contact that you know. Okay, so we have a few more to go through for our 12 scams of Christmas. The next one is imposter or fraudulent websites or seller scams. So these are fake or cloned websites that are posing as legitimate businesses to trick buyers into sharing payment information for non-existent purchases. So when you're looking at websites, it's always important to remember that because these scammers are smart, they can mimic and copy all of their seals, their fonts, specific details that make it seem like the real website. But in reality, it's a faulty, fraudulent website. So you always should be looking out for typos, spelling errors, anything that seems weird or different. You also can check the URL. So sometimes the URL of the website will be not the company's name. It'll look weird. It'll have numbers in it. It'll look all funky. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're checking out these websites, just so you're staying safe. We also have fake charities and donation scams. So this is where bbbsgive.org is a great resource to look at, because you can look at that to verify the charity or donation center or other charity vetting sites to ensure that your charity you're donating to is legitimate. But scammers are typically exploiting this holiday generosity that we all have and pretending to be charities, asking for donations, typically through like a wire transfer or a gift card, or cash, just to get it directly and make it so there's not really a way to get that money back. So it's always good to just double check which charity you're donating to, and just make sure you're protecting your information. We also have what we call hot toy listings or wish list scams. So these are the hard to find, high demand toys of the holiday season that everyone wants to get their hands of, whether it's a gadget or a holiday wish list item. Those are the products that are often targeted to deceive shoppers during the holiday season. So scammers will post and advertise fake listings and maybe add a free, like a discount, a really good discount, a really good deal on either social media or unknown sites to try and trick those buyers into paying but not receiving the legitimate item that they paid for. So sometimes they'll get fake items that weren't similar to what was posted or not the exact same item, or they'll get nothing at all. So although at times it's convincing to get this great deal for the toy that your friend, your daughter, your sister really wants, it's important to not rely on social media and the ads that pop up, and always research your sellers, because a lot of these hot toys are listed on faulty, fraudulent websites. Our last 12 scams of Christmas is the pet and puppy scams. So this is a fake ad for a pet around the holidays where scammers are taking money but never delivering that pet. And these scammers pose as breeders and post photos of pets that they don't actually have or don't own. And they are strange interactions because they'll ask you for money before you even meet the animal. So the best way to avoid this is go with a breeder that is in your local area that is known and recommended. Check them on bbb.org and make sure that the animal is legitimate before you purchase it. So whether that's setting up an actual video call or going to see the pet in person, that's always the smarter way to go before paying before you see the animal or anything like that. Are there any questions on the 12 scams of Christmas? Okay. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. Now I'm just going to go over some general red flags for holiday scamming. So as you can tell, there are many types of holiday scams that are circulating within the marketplace. And the 12 I covered doesn't even capture all of the ones that are really going on out there. So it's always important to educate yourself and protect yourself, and keep yourself up to date with what's going on. So that holiday HQ that I mentioned, that scam tracker, those are great ways to know what's going on, in addition to our educational resources available on our website. But here are some common red flags that you can look out for. So any urgent act now type of language or scenario is meant to put you off and make you want to worry or stress and act immediately. So you should always be vigilant and aware of anyone that's pressuring you to purchase or make a decision right away. Sometimes these red flags will also be in the form of no physical address for the company or no direct line to a customer service team. Sometimes when you're making payments, there'll be a request for an unusual payment method, such as a gift card or a wire transfer payment method. You should always be trying to pay with credit card when possible, because that's a little bit safer and easier to get your money back. There's also a lot of poor grammar, typos, or odd email addresses or URLs that these scammers are using. And any sellers that are offering a great discount or a promise that seems unrealistic, just be vigilant of those as well as red flags. Lastly, keep your eye out for any suspicious links or attachments that may come through on a website, an email, a text, anything like that. Scammers are always trying to prey on the willingness of unsuspected individuals that may be, scared or excited or just ramped up for the holiday season and really are hoping that you're going to click that link without thinking. And these links can have malware that gets downloaded onto your devices, and others could lead you to a website that seems legitimate, but in reality, that website is harvesting your personal information, your logins, your passwords, anything like that. So definitely just be aware when you're shopping. Think about the red flags. If it seems too good to be true, if it seems off for some reason, take a second and don't act immediately, and just make sure you know who you're dealing with. So just a little recap of how to best protect yourself. So you want to make sure that you are doing your research. Always do your research, whether you're looking at a seller with a website, a product. If you're thinking of donating to a charity, you should always be doing your research ahead of time to make sure it's legitimate and who you really want to buy from. Like I said, credit cards typically are safer for purchases. Those sketchy payment methods, unusual payment methods like a PayPal or a gift card or a wire transfer, those are always something to be wary of. You always should be avoiding clicking those unsolicited links, and verify those websites and URLs carefully before you go onto them as well. And just trust your instincts, slow down, be skeptical of the deals that seem too good to be true. because those are all great ways to just protect yourself and your information when you're holiday shopping. So that's all I have on the physical presentation side. I did leave some time in case you guys wanted me to go through any of those resources that I had on the first couple slides, talking about the holiday HQ, the scam tracker, the business profiles, anything like that. Just so you guys know where to find those and what those look like and what resources are really available. But I hope that was educational. I hope you learned about some of the scams that are circulating right now during the holiday season. And I'm happy to answer any questions on anything that I didn't answer or that I talked about, but you're still a little confused about. So just let me know.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was very helpful.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Mary?
If not, I'm happy to go through any of those resources if you guys are interested. If not, I can let you get back to your day, but I'm happy to if there's any
Actually,
questions.
I'd be okay if you did a couple of examples if you want to,
Yeah,
then I
absolutely.
will have it on here. Yeah, go right for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so just have to share another tab. Let me go. Oop. Okay. So I'll go through our general website first. I think it'll switch over. Let me know if it switches over to that other web page.
I see Better Business Bureau. I see
Does that look
Find. Yep.
perfect? Great. Okay. So yeah, this is our general website. You can find a better business with us. So like I was saying, there's a ton of business profiles that are available on our website. So we have all types of areas that people are searching for quite often at the top. But if you're looking for a hairstylist or a bakery or anything like that, you can find those with us as well. So just for the sake of going easy, we're going to just click on the roofing contractors so I can show you what that looks like. So we have a lot of contractors listed near Shelburne, Vermont. I'm in Burlington, so it's just saying I'm near Shelburne. But there's a you can see we have our accredited businesses up here. So that's any business with this kind of tag that says accredited business station, and they've been approved. So BBB looks into them carefully. They make sure that they abide by our standards of trust at BBB. They've been in business for longer than 6 months and they have proper licensing, no outstanding complaints, anything like that. If they do, they get approved. And the accreditation is really just a way for a business to stand out and make a public declaration that they are holding themselves to a higher standard in the marketplace, that they're a better business and that they are dedicated to helping their consumers and giving a good quality product. So we have our accredited businesses. With any of those, you can get a free quote, which is fantastic, right on our website. Um, just going to scroll down. I'm trying to find one that isn't accredited. There are a good amount that are accredited. I don't know why it's only. Let me look. Sorry about that. My computer is being slow now. Okay, so as you can see, there's a ton of accredited businesses. You can see that they have a BBB rating, which both accredited and non-accredited members have. And that is so the reviews don't play a factor in a business's rating. The things that play a factor are outstanding complaints that a business will not resolve. If they don't have proper licensing, that plays a factor into it. So it's really not based on like what people are saying about a business. It's based on like the facts and figures of the business instead. So businesses typically have a pretty good rating as long as they don't have issues with licensing or consumer complaints against them. So that is all of that information. And you can also search for related categories to what kind of business you're looking for. And you can see here on the right side of my screen that the accreditation and ratings overview where BBB gets, assigns a rating, whether it's an A plus to an F, to kind of identify, how a business is in terms of its licensing and how long it's been around, anything like that. But there's a lot of great information available on these business profiles. You can see, their products or services for our members. You can see about this business, how long it's been around, business details, anything like that. So it's a great resource to look into. I'm going to pop over to our scam tracker on this page. So this is our scam tracker that's available on our website again. This is, again, a free tool that you guys can utilize whenever you feel like it. And you can report a scam and you can look up a scam. So if you think you've come into contact with a scam, it's always a great thing to notify people in your community, and just let them know what you're experiencing in the marketplace, whether it's with a company or a phone number, anything like that. But this is our look up existing scams. So you can look up scams by all these great different fields, a website, an email, a location, a zip code, a state. So for example, if I wanted to look up what was going on in the state of Vermont, I would type that into my search bar. I would search, and then you can see that there's a lot of scams that pop up. So we have a Medicare one up top, an online purchase, an advance fee loan. So people are actively uploading to this scam tracker to let people know what's going on, and keep consumers in their area aware of the scams that are circulating. So this right here is an online purchase puppy scam. So one of those holiday scams we just talked about. It's December, it's the holiday season. A lot of people like to get their kids pets or surprise people with a new cat, anything like that. So here we have a puppy scam that just happened on the 7th. Some of this is from Texas, but most of these should be coming up as Vermont because that's how I searched it. Yes, okay. That'll actually, I had it. Okay, so that is our scam tracker. Here you can report a scam for yourself, another person. If you own a business, you can report a scam that way. Kind of describe scam experience to let people know what was going on. And then that'll get posted to the scam tracker. We also have the scam prevention guide that I mentioned. This is a place where you can test your knowledge, take your quizzes to determine if you are knowledgeable and can spot the cons, what's going on and knowledgeable. We have a library of resources with tips and articles and handouts to keep them educated as well. And then there's also an option to sign up for scam alerts to get notified when a new scam kind of surfaces. And then the last thing we have is our scam survival kit. This is a great resource to look into if you do get scammed. The great thing about this is you can get started and it asks you a bunch of questions to kind of tailor your experience. So there are different resources for a business versus just a regular everyday consumer, but it is a great way to kind of figure out where you need to go to better protect your information in the future. And now I can pop over to the holiday HQ that we have. So this is a great resource to kind of have a stress-free shopping experience during the holiday season. There's a lot of expert tips and advice and just resources to make sure you're staying safe and hassle-free. So there's budgeting as well. There's shopping, avoiding scams, preparing your business for the holiday season. You can see all these hyperlinks that will bring you to different pages to kind of prepare you when you're online shopping, or even traveling. So this is a great thing. And if you spot a scam, you can report the holiday scams to our scam tracker as well. But there's a lot of timely tips that you can check out. And we also have HQs for all the other big shopping days. So whether it's Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, Travel Tuesday, these are all great places to make sure you're staying safe before purchasing or putting down that credit card information or any personal information. So you can see the shopping tips, the holiday scams, the 12 scams of Christmas that I covered is also available on our website. But it's just a way to keep yourself safe in the marketplace. So definitely a great thing to look at. Are there any other questions on any of those resources or anything that I covered?
I had a quick question. I'm kind of curious. Have you had a lot of reports of like, I think it's like the iTunes scam where people are going into stores or rushing into stores buying hundreds of dollars of iTunes to give to people to prevent them from their computer from crashing or whatever the case may be.
I actually, I'm not familiar with that one, but we can see if there is anything on the scam tracker. I didn't know that was going on, but it's not a business name. Let's look up. Boop.
Yeah,
iTunes. Oh yeah. So we do have people that have been experiencing this across the country. So they've lost like $30,000 or anything like that. So it is a scam that people are experiencing with the iTunes gift cards. Yeah, the cryptocurrency. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. I wasn't aware of that one. There's always tons of scams that are, circulating and you don't even know about them until you hear about them. So it's definitely a one to consider.
I think this was great. I'm glad that we recorded it and like we can put it
Yeah.
up on our YouTube channel and then people can, view it in the future. And I hope that everybody that joined in today, got some things, questions answered that they were looking for. If anybody has any questions for Mary, you can unmute and ask anything before we end this presentation.
I'll type my email in the chat. So if you guys are looking on the website later, the Holiday HQ, or just have a question about other types of scams, you can reach out to me directly and I'd be happy to answer those. So I will type that in the chat now. But thank you all for joining. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and I hope this was helpful and hopefully everyone has a safe and happy holiday with no scams.